On a bitter December night in 1900, an unsettling chill crept over Captain Holman. His ship, the SS Arctur, sliced through the icy Atlantic waters en route from Philadelphia to Leith. But this wasn't just another routine crossing. An eerie absence of light near the notorious Flannan Isles set his nerves on edge. Hovering 6 miles north of the haunted archipelago known as the Seven Hunters, the captain peered into the abyss where the beacon of Eilean Mor should have burned bright. Instead, there was only a void, punctuated by the wild, mournful cries of storm-battered birds. Meanwhile, on the rugged galleon head of Lewis, Roderick Mackenzie, a lone gamekeeper moonlighting as a watchful sentinel for the Northern Lighthouse board, strained his eyes for the missing glow. For 8 long nights the light had been absent, and on this foreboding evening, an unshakable dread whispered that something was horribly amiss on the distant rocks. By the time the SS Arctur docked at Leith, Captain Holman's desperate reports about the missing light were met with bureaucratic delays. It wasn't until after Christmas that word finally reached the lighthouse authorities. By then, the Hesperus was already racing toward Eilean Mor with Joseph Moore, the relief keeper, at the helm. As the Hesperus neared the island, its crew's signal, flaring and horn blaring, echoed into the oppressive silence. No answer came. The boat slid into the east landing like a ghost, and Joseph Moore, gripped by a gnawing dread, stepped ashore alone to confront a nightmare. Ascending the creaking steps of the lighthouse, Moore's skin prickled as he spotted a surreal sight atop the tower: 3 colossal jet-black birds. As if they were the drowned souls of long-forgotten mariners, silently lifting off and vanishing into the stormy void. Every instinct screamed that this was no mere coincidence. Inside, the lighthouse told its own unnerving tale. The door stood ajar, not locked but ominously inviting. In the kitchen, every plate and cup lay meticulously arranged, as though waiting for a meal that would never be served. The cold, unlit fire pit was a testament to an abrupt departure. Room by room, Moore discovered that the keepers, James Duckett, Thomas Marshall, and Donald MacArthur, had simply vanished, leaving behind only tidy beds and an eerily maintained light chamber. Rushing back to the Hesperus, Moore's voice trembled as he recounted the silent, ghostly spectacle. Yet fate demanded he return that night with 3 crew members to keep the beacon alive against the oppressive darkness. The following morning, an exhaustive search of the craggy island revealed only one clue. At the western landing, essential mooring equipment and even the lifebuoy, suspended 110 feet above sea level, had inexplicably disappeared, as if swept away into another realm. The mystery of the missing keepers has haunted maritime lore ever since. Some whisper of a freak wave. Others murmur about a hidden malice fueled by isolation, madness, or even a sinister act of murder. Dark legends about ancient druids, ruined chapels and cursed burial grounds mingle with the bitter winds of the Isle. For Joseph Moore, the memory of that night, of the 3 ominous black birds and the suffocating silence of Eilean Mor, would forever shadow his soul. Though he continued his duty as a lighthouse keeper, he never dared return to the island where the boundary between the living and the lost had blurred into an eternal mystery.